Thank you, everyone. I'm Kevin Logue with Spotlight Solar. I live here in the Fair Oaks area. Been here since basketball days at Sac State.
Maybe you want to get his vote tonight, as long as he's here?
I'm not Fair Oaks. That's Brandon.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry, I can't vote for you. Yeah. Anyway, so we design and manufacture beautiful solar structures. And one of the problems with solar, for the most part, especially at the commercial utility scale, is that you can't see it. It's on a roof, it's out in a field 20 miles outside of town. In this concept, we designed these so that we could bring solar to the forefront, help people understand solar more, maybe encourage early adoption, etc. So this is, you're looking at an aviary in Salt Lake City, beautiful pink. We can paint these any color, by the way. But we know one thing we know about solar, everyone likes it. Most everyone loves it. And even to the point where companies are claiming or trying to go net zero, 100% renewable. So that's a very encouraging. A lot of the big companies are out there doing this, and we're trying to help them get that message out there. As you can see, this is typically what we see. Rooftops, fields, and then when you're trying to do something cute, it's expensive. It's hard to install when you're really trying to bring that to the forefront. It's very, very difficult. So we've built it so it engages people. We have charging stations for your USB ports and 110 outlets. They're all throughout parks. Florida Power and Light has over 144 of them in their district, so they're just keeping their clientele connected in the industry. They're warranted up to 170 mile an hour winds, so they handle all the hurricanes throughout Florida. Here you can see it actually being used by people who are actually engaging in them. All right, that's a stock photo, but these are actually real. Little tables, yep, with a little charging port underneath them, so you can, some of them have chairs you can sit on, so it just depends on what we're trying to accomplish. We have 4 different types that we make. The lift and the curve are our most popular, and these, the trestle and the industry, are more of a shade structure. You'll see, but these are our 2 most popular. They're a little more artistic looking. This kind of gives you an idea. This is not a return on investment. This is a return on visibility. When you're looking at something like this and you're only producing 3.6 kilowatts, okay? This is not, so these are all grid tied. These are all about enhancing your solar portfolio, okay? So this is about adoption and exposure to the product. For instance, this is the Frost Science Center in Miami, right off the beach, and they took major advantage, had the mayor come out during the unveiling of it. They teach solar classes to the kids who come visit, and you'll be seeing something similar here, and I'll get to that here in a minute. So, as I said before, they have 144 of these things out there. They're at manatee parks, they're at train stations, they're all over the community. Oops. This is Florida Power and Light's corporate office, and they have, this is just down the main stretch, but you'll see these throughout the parking lot with seats on them and charging stations so people come out and have their, coffee breaks or whatever they were doing. We pair them with EV charging stations. Schools, and I think that's the St. Louis Rams station, so a lot of commercial applications also.
They are grid tied?
They're all grid tied. Right. A few more of our installations, some of the different parks, rail stations that you see these at. That's a bank in the Midwest. We can see we can paint them any color, so we try to match their color scheme. Here's some of our accessories. You see the seating, the signage, charging station, lighting. This is a nice feature here, the signage, because you can also, if you're a city or municipality, you can actually have companies adopt a solar tree and actually help you pay for them with signage and advertisement, and companies can put their private message out there. Just gives you a little bit of scale, also showing the signage on this product and the lighting on the lift product. We also wrap these, all right? These are, this is in Florida. This is going to be at this year's Super Bowl. Once again, we have the signage for this style, plus we have the charging stations that fit every one of our products. So once again, this is a functional solar awareness in your face. This is who we are. So we basically we're coupling with larger projects. If you were to buy these things individually, you would say, wow, they're so expensive. But if you actually put them together with your megawatt that you're doing, it's just a small part of the portfolio. So it really does pay for itself. But if you're doing them by themselves, this is a return on visibility. Now I'll tell you what we're doing as far as community engagement. You'll see a lot of solar that's being implemented into stadiums and other public spaces, but once again, they're usually very complex and very expensive. We were able to actually take these and make them easy to replicate and distribute and install in one day. Okay, this is a baseball stadium. This will be the Super Bowl this year. We'll have 8 structures in the park across the street from the stadium where most of the festivities will be happening. You see, we did some extra accent lighting, some other things we're doing there. So other city halls have put them out in front, zoos and aviaries, parks, Kennedy Space Center. That's a good one, huh? That's a good one. We go through that too fast. You'll see them in public spaces like wineries and breweries. Here's just some of the list of some of the places that we have them, and the last two are highlighted because Clarksville Commons is a center in Florida where they've actually made a common area where you can't see the solar on the roof, so they're putting solar out in the middle. You can kind of see it. They have a live wall, so that's just a community in Florida that's gone net zero. Okay. This is the rail station in West Palm Beach, and they, I think, have 6 or 7 of our structures outside and the charging stations, etc. We all know what this is, right? Okay, so 10 years ago, I was on the initial design team for this. Those solar trees don't exist anymore, so our solar trees are going to go out there now. So anyway, so that was 10 years ago when we were doing that. So now SMUD, our partnership with SMUD, we're getting involved in that product. And we're also doing a big project with SMUD here in the region that's very exciting. The Promise Zone is a group, well, I'll get into that. Basically what we're doing is we're bringing in to 5 different lower income, underserved communities, however you want to call it. SMUD's bringing in beautification, technology, education, and job training. And so we're using these devices as a catalyst to produce jobs for installers in our region, and primarily the residents of the communities we're serving. Del Paso Heights, Oak Park, Southside, Freeport. So this is where we're actually trying to hire those kids, doing an IBEW equivalent testing training course. So they're going to come out, they'll be able to test out with IBEW if they want to.
That's the union that does the.
Sorry, yeah, Independent Brotherhood of Electrical. Yeah, right. So the Promise Zone are partners of SMUD that are community. Besides the Kings, there's others in different sectors that actually help participate in bringing, lifting up different communities. And on this project, SMUD's paying for the product, the partners are paying for the installation. So that's how we're partnering up with this. We're promoting understanding of skill sets needed. We're catalyzing the development of new careers, benefiting the underserved communities, placement of these striking solar structures in these underserved areas, right? So it's usually the rich areas that get this stuff, so they get this. Engage the students in the communities. We're training 18 to 20 or 26-year-olds, but they're also developing a curriculum for the high school, for juniors and seniors electives, so that they can then graduate out into this. Workforce development training, job training on site. Spotlights in business here with Dusty Baker, Hall of Fame baseball player, local hero, Baker Energy team. They're the ones that are doing all the installation. They're minority owned, so they'll be also hiring and help hiring and placing these young individuals. We're working with NEED, which is the National Energy Education Development Project. So they're the ones that put together the IBEW equivalent education curriculum. And so those are the 3 players that are making this thing work. So the goal is, you see the map, these are the areas right now we identified, and we got about 5 going in each one of those areas. So there'll be, I don't know, 40 or so before we're done. This is the first one, Urban Development League, where our training is going to start, our education is going to be. And this gives you an idea, phase 1, phase 2. This is Grant Union High School. They're also going to have some at the high school. And these are basically, we say these are artistic, but they're not art projects, right? But they're very nice looking, they're artistic. They have warranties, 10-year warranties. They have high wind resistance. And you know, that's us. We're out of North Carolina. We manufacture in Ohio. I represent them here on the West Coast.
And I would just like to say, I think it's very cool that you're a B corporation. And
Yes.
people don't understand what that is. You know what that is? It basically means you're a C corporation that's gone through a checklist and an audit to ensure that you actually don't just care for profit, but you have to care for people and planet. And the shareholders can literally sue the board if they fail to do that. So it's a way to really move the needle on getting companies to care about the whole of the environment and people instead of just money.
Thank you, Heidi. I'll pay you for that pitch there.
I actually am trying to pass a bill on this in California to give incentives to companies to become B corporations because I think that will
Excellent.
help us really move the needle when companies have to pay.
So basically our impacts, helping property owners demonstrate environmental stewardship. We want to create economic vitality, create dignifying work for folks, and increase the adoption of solar energy is the main goal here. And that's it. Any questions? Thank you. Sorry I sweat a little bit. We're hot up here.
Chris, I forget which team you were on for Sustainability Weekend. But we had one of the teams that actually came up with a very similar idea. Jose Avila was on that for Eco Fitness. It's just interesting. So we did this like weekend Cleantech hackathon,
Okay.
and a lot of it was trying to come up with a structure very similar to yours. Because solar's invisible to a lot of people. They don't understand it, they don't know what it looks like, they don't see it around them, so they don't get it.
Right.
But the team on the hackathon weekend was essentially saying, let's put these in a lot of parks in Sacramento. So when I met you in Oakland,
Right.
it was like, oh, well, you're already doing it.
Yeah, it just started. It happened because I walked into a SMUD meeting last December about this time and just said, you guys should be doing what Florida Power and Light's doing. And they said, gee, we got this horrible or this really bad homeless situation. We'd like to help these folks have, the phone's maybe their only lifeline to help. And so we want to be able to give them a way to charge without disrupting businesses and other things in the Sacramento region. That's how it started. Then it turned into this big job development area stimulus package that I'm so happy to be a part of.
Well, it's fantastic the way all this has come together.
Yeah.
And thanks very much to SMUD for being
great.
one of the Johnny Jump Ups on this.
Yes, hi.
I'd like to hear a little bit about your product development and what the next evolution of your solar tree will be.
Well, it's fairly mature. They've been working on it since 2009. We do little things like increase the aesthetics by adding these flares and things like that, and providing the charging stations. We are looking at a standalone station that can be off-grid that would have, think of a park bench with an umbrella, but that's solar, and then at the bottom is where your battery packs are, but they're charging stations, they're functional. That's where this is going to go to as a complementary product.
Just a thought for you
Yes,
to
sir.
pursue, and I can't remember the guy's name, somebody knows probably knows. Wide Open Walls, what's the dude's name that does Wide Open?
David Savon?
Yeah, David Savant.
Who?
David Savant.
Savon.
Yeah. I mean, this is perfect to do some art project on or with, or revise it to be an art project, because we have this thing going on now that they like paint the transformer substations in neighborhoods, and Sacramento News and Reviews paints their newspaper bins. I just see all sorts of possibilities here of turning this into community artwork, and that's been a very popular thing here with what David's been doing.
Just
Eugene?
I have two questions. Do they track also a little bit?
Nope, these are fixed.
Because
Yep.
it seems to,
We can tilt those and put them any way we want, but once they're there, they're there. We keep them
and
there.
can I have a price idea?
Well, gee, you're gonna go there, huh? Yeah.
One there.
Yeah, no, so installed, turnkey installs 50,000 on one of those. The other ones maybe 30 on that smaller curve, right? So they're not cheap, so you're not gonna put one in front of your residential, you know, but this is gonna be. Pardon me?
What's the capacity for when you quoted?
Well, so like this one here is 3.6 kW. I mean, it's not putting out a lot. You can see we use the Lumos style module, which is a frameless module. It's got some see-through. It's about a wow factor for us. It's not about going to get the best Canadian solar module and put it out there. That's not what we do. We don't put microinverters up. We don't want wires hanging around. This is a return on visibility. This is a statement piece. Okay, be clear on that. Yes.
On the car charging, is that the same 50,000 to charge a car? Because we are way short on chargers.
Yeah.
around
So,
here.
yes, it is. And you only put those in a few of the high-profile areas where we pair these up with. It's too expensive to pair them up with every charger you have. But for instance, we have the one trestle, the one with the big 4 different, yeah, that one there. We have an energy company in the Midwest that has 8 of those right next to their parking lot, and those go down, and they operate 2 chargers each of them. So they power up 2 of them.
The reason I'm interested in this making it really visible is because we're producing, we've got that duck curve, we've got so much power coming at the same time. We need to use autos as storage units and having people charge where they work and play during the day when the power is being created by the sun instead of worrying about storing it all.
Right.
The car can be a storage unit.
Right.
You can install it at Southwest Park, right next to the EV Go Club.
Yeah.
Yes, Tony.
You mentioned the cost. I'm just wondering, what would allow you to drive that cost down? I mean, can you go make 10,000 of these things or 2 million of them? I mean, you know, what would
So
drive that cost?
we talk about that all the time, right? And it's a materials cost in the U.S. We are about to do some business in China. Maybe they're going to be able to produce it better than us at a cheaper rate, I'm sure. We're, as a B corporation in the United States, our owners are very adamant about all being American-made products and American-made manufacturing. They'll get over that eventually, you know. It's a capitalistic game we all play. So I think but right now it's quantity. You know, there's only 300 of them in the marketplace. There's only 1 in California right now down at UC San Diego. So I'm here to get them out here on the West Coast.
I was curious about the education partner. I think you called them NEED.
NEED,
Are they a national group?
National Energy Education Development Project.
So they deliver the education at all of your sites? where
Correct.
you're doing this. Was there ever an opportunity or consideration given to local groups that are doing that in different communities?
So NEED has local people that work around here, and so they'll be doing it. The problem is, what we're trying to accomplish here by allowing these individuals to come, you know, get into our industry and get a high education, we needed something that was recognized nationally, because after Sacramento, we're going to Washington, D.C. We go where Dusty Baker's juice is right now, right? So Dusty, big time here. He was the manager of the Nationals for many years. Then we're going to Cincinnati, where he's manager of the Reds. Anywhere we can get early adoption, low-hanging fruit. That's where we're going with this. So, yeah. Any questions? Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.